Hey guys, welcome back to MCReviews. It's Pete here, back to do, you guessed it, another EP review. But this isn't going to be just like any other EP review video. This one's different because it's going to be the first EP review that's in our new format of video, which if you haven't heard, all the reviews on this channel are just going to be one song being reviewed per video, which is going to mean the videos can come out quicker because they're not going to take as long to make, and they're going to be shorter, so they're going to be more interesting to watch, hopefully. And I'm just kind of doing EPs in a random order now, not going chronologically just because it was boring and they weren't fun to make at all, so I'm just kind of going all over the place now. But I'm not going to explain this in detail because Mika has already explained it in detail in his update video, and I've explained it in a decent amount of detail in my last review, so check out either of those videos, preferably the update video, because it explains it in a much shorter context, and you don't have to watch the entire rest of the EP review. But with all that out of the way, let's get into the EP we're going to be reviewing today, which is, we're jumping from 2011 here, all the way to 2015, with the Victory EP by San Holo, which is another 3-tracker, haven't gone any higher than that so far, which has 3 tracks. As I just said, we've got Victory, Hold Fast, featuring Tessa Dalstra, and Shrooms. San Holo is an interesting artist to me. He's not one of my favourites, but as far as future-based producers go, he's really on the more creative and interesting side, and I believe this EP is where most of his best work on Monstercat resides. So without further ado, let's get into the first track, and the only one we'll be reviewing today. So, Victory, the title track of this EP, and as far as Spotify listens tell me, the most popular. And this is one of Mika's personal favourite tracks. I know for a while it was in his top 5 tracks of all time. Though I don't like it to that exact degree, I will definitely have some positive things to say about it throughout this review. So this song starts off very simplistically with nothing but this one melody and a couple of other sounds going on, but this doesn't last for long, as about 5 seconds into the song, a very deep and powerful bass cuts out the melody and begins the intro properly. I really like this bass sound, as it has a really pulsating feel to it instead of being one stagnant sound that stays the same for its whole duration. I like this beginning section as a whole, as it really atmospherically lingers around, and every little sound and melody that happens has a really cool echo that it leaves behind. This section very smoothly transitions into the pre-drop section. I say pre-drop, as this song doesn't have much in terms of a build-up for the first drop. This section is pretty much just one melody with the same bass as the rest of the intro. After doing this for a while, the song goes into what I consider the first drop, though that is debatable, after it's kicked off with San Holo's signature Bitbird sound. At least I'm pretty sure that's what it is. The start of the first drop, or more the first half of the first drop, is easily my favourite part of this song. It sounds very similar to the part just before it, but what makes this bit special is the pacing. Interesting and unique pacing is one of my favourite things in EDM songs, and this song does it so well. It's not like the beat is particularly unique or different, but what makes it special is how the beat and melody are so well intertwined. This section is pretty much nothing but the beat and the melody, which really accentuates the almost glitchy pacing this section has. It has this feeling that everything has to happen at the same time, and if one part stops, it all must temporarily stop until all the sounds are together again. This is what gives it this awesome glitchy and stop-starting pacing that it has. The next section of the drop is still good, but it's not quite the same. It starts with little but the vocal chop, which is pretty much what replaces the main melody in this section, though what it's saying / singing, whatever you want to call what vocal chops do, is pretty much the same melody. In fact, it is the same melody. This section is more focused on the backing than the melody, which I do understand is necessary, seeing as this melody has been present for quite a while now. The backing is fine, but not incredible. The addition being this high-pitched synth sound in the background that sticks on long drawn-out notes, like backing melodies often do. The backing also has more traditional bass in this section, along with a beat, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I really like the pulsating bass sound that was being used previously. This whole section isn't bad, but it just can't compare to the thing that just happened before it. The mid-section is really short and is mostly just build up for the second drop. It's mostly just a collection of melodies, including the one from the very beginning of the song. The build-up is fine, not too dramatic, and considering the overall tone of the song, putting too much energy into the build-up would not be reasonable, so this does fit pretty nicely. So, the second drop, which is probably what I'd say is my second favourite part of the song, actually. Well, the first half, yet again, because the second half... In fact, I think this drop has like 3 sections to it, but the first section is the bit that I really, really like. This section is really simplistic and mostly empty, but in a really great way. This section is all about the melody, which is a continuation of the one in the midsection, just using what I believe is supposed to be his bird sound, but even if it isn't, the way I would describe this melody is like a bird singing. Apart from the melody, there is bass and the beat, and pretty much nothing else for a short while, and this is definitely awesome, as I love the mostly empty atmosphere it brings, with little else but a bird call. Unfortunately, after only a short while, this section turns into a build-up for the next section of the drop, though you could call it a different drop if you wish. This section of the drop shares a lot of features with the second half of the first drop, with the same backing synth, as well as the bass and the beat being the same. The main difference is instead of a vocal chop leading this section, it is this melody made from a very 8-bit sound that constitutes of like 3 notes being played over and over again. I don't like this section very much at all, honestly, as it's very repetitious, and in a way where the main melody is so short that it has to be repeated so many times to fill out the section, since it's like 3 notes, and I find that really boring and repetitious. And the next section of the drop after this, there's no build up to this, and the next section after this is exactly the same, maybe a bit different as the second half of the first drop, which, you know, as I said, was good, but it was nothing particularly special. It's got a few small additions, but apart from that, all my compliments and criticisms still remain. The ending section is another section I really like. Right after the drop ends, it sounds like the whole song is shutting down in a really computer or engine kind of way, and that's an awesome way to end a song. And just like it started, the song ends with nothing but the beep sound that it had at the start, which kind of sounds like a heart rate monitor, to be honest. So overall, this song acts as a very good introduction to San Holo on the label. However, though it has some fantastic moments and manages to keep me interested most of the way, there's a few sections that stop it from being a truly awesome song in my mind. So for that reason, it's getting a very solid 7 out of 10 from me. So there you go, guys, the first episode of the San Holo EP review, and the first episode of an EP review in the new format. I'd really like you guys to put down in the comments section below if you enjoy this new format, if you find the shorter videos more entertaining, and if they manage to keep your attention more. So we've got 2 songs left to go. We've got Hold Fast will be the next one, and then we have Shrooms after that. That will be coming out over the course of the next week. So keep your eyes and ears tuned for that one, and I'll see you guys next time.